Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving into something that's absolutely critical for any major project's cash flow, the advance payment, specifically as it's laid out in the FIDIC Yellow Book's Clause 14.2. So let's start with a really basic problem, right? Every huge project faces this. You need a ton of cash right up front for mobilization, for buying materials, for all that design work, and this is all happening long before a single part of the job is finished and you can send an invoice. So the big question is, how on earth do you bridge that gap? Well, this is exactly where the contract steps in, with a really elegant solution. You can honestly think of it as the project's cash flow jumpstarter. It's all about getting that engine running and fast. Okay, so what is this advance payment, really? Well, on the surface, yeah, it's an interest-free loan from the employer to the contractor. But you've got to think bigger than that. It's a strategic tool. It lets the contractor hit the ground running without having to build a bunch of expensive financing costs into their bid. And you know what that means? It saves money for the entire project in the long run. And this is the beautiful part. It's a total win-win. The contractor, they get that critical cash infusion right at the start, which means they can get moving faster. And the employer, they are absolutely 100% protected. That money doesn't go anywhere until they have an on-demand advance payment guarantee in their hands, which is a rock-solid security. All right, so we get the why, but what about the how? How does this actually play out on the ground? Let's walk through the modern, step-by-step process from the 2017 FIDIC contract, because they really made it crystal clear for everybody involved. So in the 2017 Yellow Book, it's this really clean four-step dance. Step 1, the contractor hands over the guarantees, and that's both the performance security and the advance payment guarantee. Step 2, they formally apply for the advance in their monthly statement. Step 3, the engineer issues a specific certificate just for this payment. And then finally, the employer pays up. And let me tell you, having that separate certificate is a huge upgrade for clarity and tracking the money. And look, to make sure this whole thing doesn't drag on, the contract puts everyone on the clock. The engineer, you've got 14 days to certify. The employer, you've got 21 days to pay. And this is a big one. There's a 28-day warning bell that rings to make sure that guarantee doesn't expire. These deadlines, these clocks, they're what keep the gears turning and hold everybody's feet to the fire. Now, I really want to drive this point home. The 2017 version, it's not just a little touch-up of the old 1999 rules. No way. It's a major, major operational upgrade, especially when you look at how it handles clarity and security. So let's put them side by side. In the old 99 book, the advance payment was kind of just lumped in with the first regular payment. The 2017 book, it smartly gives it its own dedicated certificate for much better tracking. But the real game changer, the thing that really matters, is the security. The new version adds some serious teeth to the rules around that guarantee. And here it is. This is the big one. The 2017 book puts in this super clear, totally objective trigger. If the contractor hasn't shown proof that they've extended the guarantee and there are only 7 days left before it expires, boom. The employer has the explicit right to call that guarantee for whatever is still owed. No debates, no he said, she said, it's black and white. Okay, so we've seen the mechanics, but it's really important to get this next part. Clause 14.2 doesn't live on an island. It's more like a central hub, deeply connected to all these other critical parts of the contract. Yeah, the hub and spoke analogy is perfect here. You've got the advance payment right in the middle. That's your hub. And then you have these spokes shooting out, connecting it to performance security, to the regular payment clauses, and even to what happens during termination. So let's talk about the first spoke, what I call the ignition sequence. This is non-negotiable. The engineer is literally forbidden from issuing that advance payment certificate until the employer has both the performance security and the APG in hand. It's a simple chain of events. No guarantees, no certificate, and definitely no cash. Full stop. What this does is it forces all the most important risk controls to be locked in place before a single dollar is advanced. Now let's fast forward to the end of the project. The rules for getting the money back are just as clear-cut. Repayment usually kicks in once about 10% of the work is certified. From that point on, a chunk, usually 25%, is taken out of each payment to pay back the loan. And here's the kicker. If the project gets handed over or, worse, terminated, and there's still a balance, that entire outstanding amount becomes due immediately, right then and there. Okay, we've covered the rules on paper, but let's get real for a minute. In the real world, things don't always go to plan. And understanding the practical risks, the stuff that can actually go wrong, is every bit as important as memorizing the contract clauses.
One of the biggest and, frankly, most embarrassing risks is just letting the advanced payment guarantee expire. It's totally avoidable. You have to track that expiry date like it's a safety critical item on your checklist. Seriously, put multiple alerts in your calendar for T minus 42 days, T minus 28, T minus 10, and especially T minus 7. Do not let this one sneak up on you.
All right, here's a more subtle trap you can fall into. The standard FIDIC math for repayment. It works great if your advance is, say, 22% or less. But what if you negotiated a bigger advance, like 30%? Uh-oh. Suddenly the math doesn't quite work. That standard 25% repayment rate might not be high enough to pay it all back by the time the project is done. And you could be left with a nasty surprise, a big outstanding balance at the finish line.
So, you see, the key is to think ahead. You have to play out these what-if scenarios. What if the APG is about to expire? The employer can call it. What if the advance is too big for the standard repayment rate? You'll have a balance left over. What if you're dealing with multiple currencies? Things can get messy fast. All of these potential problems point to the same solution. You absolutely have to customize the contract's particular conditions to fit the reality of your specific project.
And that's really the thought I want to leave you with. Clause 14.2 is a fantastic, powerful tool. It's brilliantly designed to solve a huge cash flow problem. But, like any powerful tool, it's only as good as its setup. So the question you have to ask yourself is your advance payment clause properly tuned for your project's specific needs right from day one?